We met back in 2013. I had been playing on a bar league softball team, including her oldest sister Megan, and we were short a few players, so she came on to help us out. I had no idea what I was getting into, and I walked up by myself. I was looking for Megan, and I didn't see her at all, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm all by myself with all these strangers. And I just remember the first time seeing her, that I will never get that out of my mind, that she just walked up, nothing special or fancy, but a cut-off shirt, shorts, her hair pulled up, and I just had never seen anybody so beautiful before. It was like time stopped for a second, and I can perfectly picture her today like I saw her then, with the sun shining, beer in her hand, headband on, and in all her softball gear, and I just thought to myself, oh my gosh, oh, this is gonna be trouble. It was just not the same after that day. I could never get her off my mind, and I just wanted to be with her. So that's how we first met. Well, our first date turned out to be not to my knowledge, because I was still very much certain that she had zero interest in me. You know, I assumed that this is a date, like you're making me dinner, we're gonna watch a movie. And I got there and I had dressed all up and was ready, and when I showed up, here I am standing in my beat up t-shirt from when I was 14 years old and mesh shorts that didn't match, didn't look like anything. And as soon as I saw her, I was immediately shy. And then she was sitting like on the other couch from me, not even sitting by me. So I was like, what the heck? So I had to do something to let her know that I wanted her to just like sit by me and like that I like her. But every year we'll still wear our same outfits on that same date, and we'll have a little cookout. And I don't think she'll watch the movie every year because she doesn't like scary movies, but we still make something special on that day. There were two moments that stick out in my mind that I was sure that I wanted to marry Alicia. The first was when I lived in La Crosse, in the softball house. We spent the whole day watching Fixer Upper on Netflix. We watched the whole first and second season and just hung out and talked about future stuff and what our home would look like in the future, and kids and the whole bit. We took a drive up to Granddad's Bluff, and that Tenerife Sea by Ed Sheeran was playing in my car. The windows were down, and she had her hand out the window, and the wind is blowing her hair, and that song was on, and she just looked at me and smiled, and my heart just like sank. Like I just felt something that I'd have never felt before in my life, and now every time that song comes on, that's immediately what I picture. And that might have been the day that I just knew I had to be with her. We went and looked at rings and picked out one that I liked, and she picked out one that she liked, and we kind of was spur of the moment kind of a thing, and we decided to buy them before we were like gonna get engaged officially. But the timing of it, I didn't expect at all. That day we had gone to a wedding fair up in Menominee and came back here actually in Phoenix Park. And so we walked down by the river over there, and we were there was a couple people around, and there's like a dad and a little kid, and they're like throwing rocks in the water, and I was like, okay, we'll just kind of hang out until they go. And they weren't going, and I was getting more anxious. She started doing her speech, and I thought something was up, and there was a little kid that we didn't know who he was and was trying to get us to play with him and throw rocks into the water. And usually Greta is very much into playing with kids and going along with that, and she started getting frustrated. So I'm like, what is going on? You're getting a little upset here. So I figured something was happening. Eventually the dad came back and the kid left. So I was like, I have to do it now because I don't know what's gonna happen next. I had turned her to me and held her hands, and my friend was like creeping around this big rock, taking our pictures, and I knelt down and told her how I felt and asked her to be my wife, and she said yes, thank God. A few days later, I had made a blanket that had pictures of us throughout our relationship on it, and in the middle it had a heart with an arrow through it that says, "Will you marry me?" So when she got home one day, I laid out some little note cards that talked about some memories that we shared together and in a trail to lead her to the blanket. And then thankfully she also said yes, but she proposed first, so she was kind of hooked already.